of the time of year, this is not a saltwater crocodile egg. Saltwater crocodiles don't start hatching for another month or two. Okay, this is a freshwater crocodile egg, which is why the egg is so small. Okay, you can see the little nose sticking out of there. That's how I knew he was ready to pop. Okay, that and we had a calculated due date, but they're about 5 days overdue. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mimic what the mother crocodile would do. Okay, they pick the eggs up in their mouths and they roll it and they crush at the same time, softening up the eggshell, which promotes them to pop out. So I'm just going to very gently. Okay, so these guys are a lot smaller than saltwater crocs. They're a lot cuter too. Once you get your photos of that, it's a pretty cool shot.
Oh, use the camera. That's a good idea.
Woo! Alright, I'm just going to dry them off real quickly. There we are, buddy. Okay, so like I said, these guys are much smaller than saltwater crocs when they're born. He's about half the size. Okay, a saltwater crocodile would be about 25 to 30 centimeters. This guy would be about 15 to 20. Ooh, trying to have a bite. Okay, the easiest way to tell the difference between the saltwater croc and the freshwater croc is by the shape of their nose, and I'll show you that with the adults. It's a little easier to see with the big ones out there. We've got a couple of mummy and daddy freshies out there that we'll show you. The other thing I want to show you guys is their belly. Okay, see on the belly it looks like it's been cut. Okay, he's got a big scar there.
Yeah.
That's called an umbilical scar. Okay, all crocodiles have that. And what that is where the skin is actually healing up around the egg yolk. Okay, so when they're curled up in the egg, there's a big yolk that they sort of hug, and as they get bigger, that egg yolk gets smaller, and it's just slowly absorbed into their small intestine. Okay, so it's attached to the intestine through virtually an umbilical cord. It's not the same thing as a mammal, but and as they develop, that shrinks, and he can actually feed off that for probably a couple of weeks if he has to. Okay, we'll probably start feeding him within the week, maybe 4 or 5 days from now, after that's completely burned off or starting to burn off. And hopefully he'll start growing up big and strong. We'll give him minced up pork or beef with some additives, so some calcium supplements, some vitamin C. Who knows, we got a big bag of supplements over there. We might come up with a good concoction for them. In the wild, they'd be eating little insects, like little fish and little frogs. And, yeah, they're born with teeth. They also have what we call an egg tooth. Okay, so right on the tip of its nose, you can't see it, but you can feel it. Okay, there's a little tiny tooth that grows right out of the tip, and that's what they use to cut this inner membrane. They just, as they're moving around in there and rubbing their head, it sort of breaks this leathery membrane on the inside, and then the outer calcium layer gets broken later. Okay, so most reptile eggs are soft like this. Okay, crocodile eggs are hard on the outside. Okay, like a bird egg, so it's a combination of the two. Pretty cool little guys, aren't they? It's been a while since we've had newborn freshies. It's about probably 2 whole years since they've bred. So these guys, believe it or not, actually came all the way from Dream World down south. So they've purchased a couple of freshwater crocs off us. And what we normally do is we sell a male because they're a little bit bigger and more impressive, and we give them a female to go with it. And that way, if she lays eggs, they can feed our female for us for a year, and then we get the eggs as a result. Alright, do you guys have any questions about him before I put him away? This is as small as you'll ever see a crocodile.
Where are you putting now?
I'll go put him in our little nursery. He'll have a little pond of water, and I'll put him with the rest of the eggs as they hatch out, so he'll be with all of his brothers and sisters. And
can the kids touch him?
No, not this guy. We'll bring out another one that you can touch later, though. So you got to make sure.
At this stage, they can actually take the germs off your skin.
Oh, okay.
As being humans.
And they have lots of them.
Yeah, we have lots of them.
They have more.
So that little membrane, that umbilical membrane there, that's a big worry. So whatever they hatch out onto has to be almost sterile. Okay, so because they rub along that, and it's a membrane, it's meant to absorb things. So any little bit of bacteria that's there, they can get infections of the umbilicus.
Aren't you guys lucky?